the definition of your objectives. And this is the inspire of today's show. If you don't define your objectives, you will never know when you arrive to your goal. And if you never arrive to your goal, you will never be satisfied, and you will never then move to the next goal. A lot of people tend to forget that because they want to get to the grind straight away. They want to grind, they want to be working, they want to be being famous, and they don't really realize why they are doing it. Because if you don't have a goal, then you cannot have a direction. And then the wind is useless. Like I said, you need to define an objective or where you are going, especially in these times. The people who are lost in the times of today is usually because they don't really have an objective. They are just taking things as they come, and they're just living day to day and improvising every day. You can do that. I improvise every day, but I have an objective. I work for myself and I feed my whole family. So failure is not an option for me. So there's my objective. Building my catalog, creating content, pushing the envelope of music, and being able to create more different content to at a point become the owner of an amazing amount of catalog, and then monetizing these catalog. These are my objectives in terms of music. And once you define your objectives, now you have to think about do you want to make money, or do you want to make art, or do you want to have fun, or do you want to prove to yourself that you can do something and money is not the interest? And do you want to make a video show on YouTube or on Instagram about you cooking live, for example? You have a kitchen, you install some or your thing, you're gonna be live for 4 hours, and you're gonna cook some chicken. And so you're gonna have all your instruments, camera from this point, whatever, your laptop, and you are streaming live and you're doing a cooking show. Is your goal to just cook for the pleasure because you want to just do stuff and show your skills and enjoy? Or your goal is to get a job after that? Or maybe you already have a job. So is your goal from this is to work on your brand and have your brand be more famous, more followed, more get clout? Or is your goal to make money? Or both? Why I'm saying this and why this is very important in the beginning, it's because I've seen a lot of artists, probably 95% of the artists that I talk to, when they define their goal, first of all, their goal, sometimes it's a goal that makes no sense. I want to be famous. All right. But what you gonna do with it? I just want to be famous. Okay, why? Like, this is a very narcissistic goal. You become famous as a byproduct of the good work you do, because a lot of people respect or enjoy what you do. You become famous. Becoming famous is not a job. It should not be a goal, but for some people, that's the goal. A lot of people also do this mistake. I want my music to stay authentic. Okay. But authentic to what? Authentic to my real fans and my first fans. I'm like, okay, so who are the people who define the authenticity? And what do you base yourself on to say that what you are doing right now is authentic? And do you want to make, so you want to be authentic? Okay, cool. I don't mind. But do you want to make money? Because most of the time, authentic means underground. Underground means no money. So, do you have a job? Or do you want to become rich or pay your rent by being authentic? If you understand that to arrive there, you might need 10 years of this authenticity to build a following of people who understand exactly what is your value proposition. And then these people will then, in 10 years, generate you your money. And it's a good choice. I understand it. I took this choice a lot of times, but it worked for me because I had the time and I knew how to protect my authenticity by doing the right commercial songs from time to time. But a lot of artists, they are now willing to choose commerce or to let go a little bit of their authenticity to survive. They prefer being authentic. And again, you want to be authentic? Go ahead. I have nothing against that. But assume that if the choices you make that the music you make never generates you enough money to live from your art, don't cry. That's all I'm asking. Don't cry. And don't complain about the people who chose to be 60% authentic and 40% a little more business, or 50-50, or those who said, no, I want to make money. I don't care. I'm going to make music that works. And authentic, I don't know what it means, because everything is a copy of something. Everything has been done before. Everything is a remix. And whoever think they are authentic is in 2000 are not authentic to those from the 80s, and those from the 80s are not authentic to those from the 60s, and so on and so on and so on. So we all come from somebody. So actually we are all a product of something before. So authenticity is actually some people believe that. So to me, if your goal is to choose that you want to make money, commerce, and you don't really care about the authenticity or whatever, you also have to understand and to be ready to assume when people say about you that your music doesn't really have a backbone and that you just touch everything. You have to be able to respond to that. And a lot of people on both sides, they don't assume their choices. Because they don't assume their choices, then whenever somebody says something that is a critic to whatever they do, they get weak and they start crying. They start trying to become authentic all of a sudden, or they start complaining that they're not making money and they want to be more commercial all of a sudden. These are people who didn't define their objectives. So how do you define your objective? To define your objective, you have first to define success. What is success? Success is when you reach your objective. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of your objective, whatever you decide that is success, this is your objective. And a lot of people, they don't define their success. They believe that success is something that they see on TV. Some people think that success is Kim Kardashian or Kanye West or Jay-Z or Beyonce or whatever. Some people think that success is Elon Musk or Putin or Mobutu. Everybody has their own definition, but a lot of them, They define success from what society has defined as success. And what is interesting is if you go from one country to the other, the societal definition of success will differ from one place to another, as the societal definition of beauty. It depends where you are. You can be beautiful to some and not to others. You can be successful to some and not to others. So the real first question you have to ask yourself when you are defining your objectives is, what is my definition of success? What do I believe that is success for me? Is success being able to feed my kids and my wife, husband, and having a roof over our head and food on our plate? If this is for you the definition of success, then you have to believe strongly in what is your definition of success, so that when somebody else who has another definition come test your success, you are able to stand on your ground and tell them, yeah, I'm happy for you that you have 5 Mercedes and 2 Lamborghinis, but that is not success for me. This is show off. But I respect the fact that for you, this is success, because maybe you lived all your life poor and your only goal in life was to have a Mercedes. And now that you have it, you believe that it is for you. You arrived somewhere. But now what are you going to do with that? Now that you have that, what else are you going to do? What are you building? What are you doing for this? What are you doing for that? It's the same thing for me as the people who believe that because you are a singer, you also have to be an activist. No, it's not true. Everybody will decide what they want to do with their community, with their platform. I have a platform here. I could talk about a ton of different stuff, but I'm going to talk about the things that I want to talk about because it's my platform. And sometimes, yeah, activists comes to you. Yeah, but why you don't talk about this? Why? Why? It's like, why you don't post this? Why you don't post that? Why you don't do? And I'm like, because this is my platform, and I decide what I talk about. And your toxicity is not welcome here. And you have to always be able to not let the people from outside pollute your definition of success, because this means that they are polluting your objectives. So once you know what are your objectives, you also have to be able to define the most important part. And it's interesting because we were talking about it before. You have to be able to understand that once your definition of your objective is done, once you know what is your objective, you know what is your goal, it just must become something that is in the horizon, because a goal is long term. If it's something that you can do in 2 days or 5 days, this is not your goal. This is one step. Normally, when you do one step, the goal is to do 100 steps. And every 100 steps, you see where you are. And maybe after 10 times this, once you have done 1,000 steps, you can reach your objective. It might take 5,000 steps or more. But once you know what is your objective, you should not be obsessed by it. Because look 2020. 2020 just changed everything for everybody. But the objectives stay the same. It's just that the means to arrive to the objective completely changed. And what is important now for you as a creator is to be able to is to be able to forget the objective, but have it part of your everyday actions. And every time you improvise something without really knowing, it is taking you a little further from your objective. And this is how you can arrive to this point where you are starting to love the process. Because what is more important is actually loving the process. I have 3,000 videos on my YouTube channel. This is a huge amount of videos, especially if you know that a Club Shada episode is usually around 3 hours. Vlogs are 10 minutes, shows 20 to 30 minutes, all the music videos, all the songs. And when you realize that every single video that is in my channel have been edited by me, graded by me, most of the time shot by me. And at the same time I was on tour, and at the same time I was this, and at the same time I'm a father, and at the same time I'm a husband and a hustler, and etc., 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 and a boss, and I have artists that I work with, and I have all these different tentacles that I'm doing. But so somebody who's just starting, who's like, listen, I want to create content, I want to have my YouTube channel, I want to talk about this, I want to talk about that, I want to talk about whatever is your whatever you want to, the angle that you want to approach. There's a public for that. There's a public for everything online. But if you don't love the process, and you are just focused on the goal, I want to have a YouTube channel with 1,000 videos. That's the goal. And then if every video brings me $2 per month, I will make $2,000 per month, and I can pay my rent with my YouTube channel. That's a goal. But then you're like, oh my God, 1,000 videos, that's impossible to arrive there. Well, it's not, because once you understand what is your objective, now you can forget it. And you can focus on the process, which is every day every week I'm gonna do 2 videos. And you're not gonna be like, yeah, I have 4 videos, 996 to go. No, that's not how you think. You're like, I have 2 videos. This is amazing. Oh my God, I have 10 videos. This is amazing. I love it. I'm loving doing it. And then I forget the goal. And one day you have 2,000 videos and you forgot that, oh, I passed my objective. And look, I was so happy on first Club Shada when we had 100 people watching. And today it's usually around 400, 500. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. It depends. And sometimes the next day you have double the people watching. But this is nothing compared to the objective. This is nothing compared to some people who have 50,000 people watching at the same time. Some people they make 1 million views from a live. But because the first thing, I don't compare myself to other people other than to learn. And I'm busy enjoying the process of doing them. I don't remember doing 67 episodes of Club Shada. I'm amazed that I did 67 episodes and I was on time every time. Because I'm a guy who like to do things when I want. I don't like constraint. And I come here every time and I don't really think about it that much. I just come, turn on my camera, turn on my lights, and start talking. And that's the beauty of loving the process instead of being overwhelmed by the fact that you are so far from the goal. Forget the goal. because the goal is set. Once the goal is set, the most important now is the process, the things you do every day. Look, this is, let me go to YouTube. Let's search Club Shada #1. Look at this. This is Club Shada #1. Filmed on an iPhone. Body from Skype, using my studio headphones. Now I have these nice headphones, and we just here talking. And look, the chat was already here. A lot of people that were there at that time are not here anymore. Others are coming and going, and it's just us enjoying a good conversation between friends. And look, Club Shada #1, the title is Testing the Live with Bodhisattva. We're just testing. And I didn't even know how to use the program that I'm using. It was maybe the first time I was using it, and I was like, you know what, let's test it live. And that was the first episode of Club Shada. That was April 17th, 2020. Since then, I had the time to have the COVID, get sick, be in quarantine for a month, get skinny, get fat again, do this, do that, work, release songs, etc. But I trust my process. I trust my thing. Look, let's look for Club Shada, I don't know, episode 30. Look now, episode 30. I was having guests from Angola, and look, I'm here. In the back, I have the cariño from my daughter, plus one of this elephant that her godfather offered her, and I'm starting to try the QR codes to see if the donation links, etc. I don't have yet the super chat. I'm not sure, and the logo is I did a new logo. I'm trying stuff, but it's starting to I just bought a light that is changing colors. You see, the light is changing colors, etc. Now let's go to episode 50. Oh, look at that now. Episode 50. I'm testing the interview mode. Everybody come in. We are here talking. And look, I'm starting to use a light in the back to have some definition to my face. I put these flowers, etc. And look at today. I bought this, and I start doing some, I'm starting to create an atmosphere of, this is my desk, and this is what is the great thing about, I didn't put this light in the right place, but this is what is the amazing thing about the process, is I can see the evolution of this show in 67 episodes, and I know what is my goal. I know why I'm doing this. I know what are the multiple outcomes of this. And listen, I got some people calling me. Some people call me and told me, hey, would you transform your show into a TV show? I have some TV channels that are interested in having your live show on TV because of the things you are saying, etc. But it would need to be more like this. It would be an hour, whatever, whatever. A lot of people are telling me, hey, don't you wanna, or maybe do another show, or maybe, do a radio show, a podcast. And I'm like, not really interested. Oh, but why? Those are big TVs. And I'm like, I'm not interested because I'm on my own mission for my content on my channel and my people and what I'm trying to build. If I control it and I own it, and I'm not paid by somebody, like I'm not an employee of somebody, I know what I can do with it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And those people don't understand because they're like, yeah, but there's some opportunities, and then you will have way more people watching if you are on this. And I'm like, no. Actually, I prefer adding new people one by one until one day I celebrate the fact that I have 1,000 people watching.